Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Appeal Court in Port Harcourt returns Ali Modu Sharif as National Chairman of the PDP as Ahmed Makarfi Group heads for the Supreme Court to challenge the decision. Tragedy as a luxury bus from the east plunges into a woody river in Lagos. 3 people are killed. Attempts to wreak havoc on Maiduguri city fails as 7 suicide bombers on a deadly mission all die after police foil multiple attacks. And former British Prime Minister Tony Blair advises country to rethink the Brexit decision. And do remember that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Let's take a look at those pictures. We have them with us. We can share them with you. And first is this one from Auchi Polytechnic in Edo State. Our Eyewitness reporter says the students of the institution are protesting the indefinite strike embarked on by the Academic Staff Union, asking the government to intervene. Still from Edo State this time, Benin City, the state capital, comes this picture showing a dirty environment. Our Eyewitness reporter wants residents and traders in this market to desist from dumping refuse in the area. And in this one, our Eyewitness reporter wants the concerned power holding company to pay attention to this fallen electricity pole in Ikeja, the Lagos state capital. Let's end with this one from Lagos Island area of Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter is warning drivers and passengers against dangerous acts like this one. That looks very risky indeed. Thanks for your pictures and do keep them coming. The Borno State National Emergency Management Agency says 7 suicide bombers have been killed during an attempted attack along Maiduguri-Mafa Road in the state. According to NEMA, some of the suicide bombers found their way to a place where people gathered with their trucks loaded with goods for onward movements to Mafa, Dikwa and Ngala LGAs. 7 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force sustained injuries and were taken to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital for treatment.
Heavy suicide bombers tried to detonate, but the military repelled them, and we have no so far recorded any civilian casualties, and they have been successfully repelled the 2, and the 2 that find their way to sneak into the town, and still they died without any civilian casualties. But unfortunately they jammed to some loaded vehicles around Muna that are preparing to go to Ngala tomorrow, and this is so far what happened. But we will thank Almighty God that we have not recorded any civilian casualty or injury.
Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Ivy Clem. Ivy.
Hello, Ijoma. We'll start with Nigeria's rail transportation, which may be set for a major overhaul as the federal government says that it has concluded arrangements to concession the Nigeria Railway Corporation better performance. This was made known by the chairman of the NRC, Mr. Usman Abubakar, who explained that the concession will be carried out very soon. He was speaking to journalists after flagging off the maiden rail transportation of 800 tons of soya beans from Puntua to Apapa Port in Lagos.
Okay, that's it.
If you were in the newspaper about 3 weeks ago, there was an advertisement in the newspaper to satisfy the requirement of the law. But we have been talking behind the scene with some of the companies that will be taking over the railway and run it and manage it much better than we are doing now. The railway itself is going to be concession to some international companies to make it more effective, more efficient, and more productive in the next few months. The intra-companies, they have submitted tender, they are evaluating the bid now. After that, then they will call for commercial bid, and then finally, when they finish negotiations, they will sign an agreement.
Road infrastructure also seems to be receiving increasing attention given the federal government's resolve to ensure that major roads are upgraded to quality standard. The Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, stated this in Cross River State while on an inspection of highway projects in the south-south zone of the country. He pledged federal government's assistance to make the state realize its economic aspirations embedded in its proposed deep-sea port and tourism projects.
The Minister of Works, Power and Housing has continued his visits to states across the country, touring infrastructure projects being put in place by the federal government. His latest stop is Cross River State, south of Nigeria, where he inspected a major road which forms part of the Calabar-Ikot Road stretch. According to the contractor, the work is going on, but funding is the major challenge.
Right now we're about 20 kilometers of binder, so we can't finish the remaining 40 before the rains. The one of the challenges on this job is the issue of funds. Like we told him there that we have not received up to 50% of demobilization. So what we've been doing so far is to show capacity and commitment, just to say that look, local contractors can as well do what the expatriate, are trying to do.
Mr. Fashola is pleased with what he sees and assures the contractor of more funding so the company can meet its deadline.
The important thing is to realize first the economic aspirations of Cross River State, which is based on tourism, the development of its quarrying activities, a strategic location as a seaport, and the manufacturing activities that take place here.
Work may not have been completed on this project, but it's better than its previous condition.
You heard from the contractors when it was awarded, you award a road of almost 200 kilometers and you give the contractor 45 million naira in January 2015. That's why the pain has endured. I think what has changed is that in spite of the tough economic times, this administration is able to keep that contractor there and are paying some money, and we will pay more. And also to understand that it will take some time to finish the road.
The 67.1 kilometer road services several communities in the northern part of the state and connects Cross River to Ebonyi and Benue states.
Succor appears to be on the way for residents of the Upper New Market Road Onitsha affected by the unfortunate petrol tanker fire disaster of Wednesday, February the 15th. The Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has visited the area to sympathize with the residents and given directives for the relocation of 15 families affected by the disaster.
DMG's roundabout is still a beehive of activity as many people gather to witness a disaster caused by a fallen petrol tanker on Wednesday night. The resulting fire leaves destruction in its wake. Several persons affected tell the tale of their loss.
This car belongs to me, and the car is that I use it to go to work, to find food where my children will eat.
This house, my husband built it, just decking. My husband died then. I was a civil servant, Nigerian prison service. I struggled so much for about over 12 years to build it up. Then until it happened yesterday, 15th of February.
The scene is like a Jerusalem of some sort, as the state has never seen such a calamity, even though no life was lost. Some lawyers whose chambers were raised in the inferno lay the blame at the feet of the state's fire service.
So we are pleading the people of Anambra, the government of Anambra, to know what to do about the fire service. The fire service in Anambra, they are not working. If they are working, they could have stopped this situation yesterday.
The governor comes visiting the scene of the incident, who reaches out, assuring the affected people immediate relocation.
I'm going to set up a committee to find out the remote causes of these fire incidents and what we should do differently. I've already been told that 15 families were dislodged from Onitsha here because of this fire. And I said that we'll also find them an accommodation in this environment pay for 1 year for them to be able to compensate them, till they find their fate.
In the meantime, the state governor has directed the state commandant of the Federal Road Safety Corps to begin impounding every heavy-duty truck that comes into Anambra without meeting road safety standards.
And that's it from the Abuja studios. We'll go back to Lagos with Ijoma.
All right, thanks a lot, Ivy. We're going to continue from here in Lagos, but let's move over to the southeast again, as academic activities were brought to a halt today at the Federal University Technology Owerri Futo, following a demonstration by the students over alleged hike in tuition and other charges. The situation has been brought under control, but an eyewitness account says the protests, which were supposed to be peaceful, turned violent when security operatives began to use tear gas on the students, and they retaliated, destroying property worth millions of naira.
Empty premises and classrooms at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, as academic activities are halted over a heavy demonstration by its students due to alleged hike in tuition fees from 27,300 naira to 39,000 naira and other charges illegally billed on the students. This protest has led to destruction of property in the school premises.
It pisses me off to notice that even everything in school now we're paying for it, like the course registration. Like my elder one, he was telling me he registered some courses for 1,800 and now we're listening for 4,000. Make it the compulsory women for all year one. What about people who don't have the money for it?
The students say the university management had given them an ultimatum to pay up the increment in the school fees, as failure to pay up will attract additional 10,000 naira lateness fee or a forfeiture of their admission. Some of the angry students claim that the school management had informed them that the additional fees is for free internet Wi-Fi and free transportation.
I was meant to pay 39,300 plus 10,000 naira late and late payments. They said it's for Wi-Fi and
transport fee.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi and transport fare.
Don't experience anything like Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. There's nothing, and even if you see it's locked. And if you go and lay your complaints, they'll tell you we are still working on it. I mean, for how long? Like me, I paid my school fee since last year. And up till now, I'm still waiting for the Wi-Fi, which I have not seen.
The security staff on campus during the incident accused the students of damaging the school's property.
If it's increment of school fees, should that warrant them to start breaking and looting everywhere?
The public relations officer of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Mr. Chike Ezenwa, in a telephone conversation, says all the management team left the school premises due to the incident. Mr. Ezenwa also informs us that the Senate has ordered the closure of the school indefinitely. Security operatives deployed to the school are patrolling the premises, all in a bid to avert any further breakdown of law and order.
When the news at 10 returns, our focus on the new health policy, I'll be joined by a senior medical practitioner, Dr. Bayo Sekumade, to join us again.